Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Books, Girls, and Purrs. My name's Leslie, and I'm 5 minutes late. I'm so sorry. Um, this isn't going to be too much, excuse me, too much of a pre-show. I was kind of scrambling to get home on time. Um, I have been avoiding the internet basically. Instagram, it's so funny. I basically would have my phone on me, and if I had to go to Instagram to answer something, I would like cover it up because I didn't want to see my feed. To go to my DMs because I've been trying not to see any spoilers. Angel Sashi, you beat me to it. Hey, this was a great. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Oh my god, I'm gonna start watching it right now. I almost wanted to watch it on midnight, but it's not like I had like a notice or gave anyone notice that I was gonna be up late. So I just decided to wait at my regular time, and maybe for the next season I'll change it because clearly people are watching it earlier than 6. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. But yeah, so I'm about to start it right now. And oh, I forgot to put the banner up. Sorry, I'm frazzled because I like ran over here. Um, oh, here's the banners. All right, I'm gonna put my mic off in a second and I'll press play. Hold on. Let me see where I'm even at. Let me set this up. It's making me watch it previously on. I'm trying to skip it. Skip recap. Okay, cool. All right, I put the banner on. I'm gonna watch it right now. Hi. It didn't hit you like last week? Good. I'm glad because I can't. I can't be in emotional turmoil because episode 7 hit me and I was not the same the entire week. But it's very nice to see you. I'm gonna start watching right now, so I'm gonna put myself on mute, and then it's right at the title card. So I'm gonna press play, and then I'll put myself on mute. But if anybody wants to watch along, I'll be in the chat. I cannot wait for season 3 as well. All right, hold on one second. I'm catching up on everybody's. You know what? Let me change the banner. Sorry, I can't even think straight. All right, so here's the after show. Oh my god. Yeah. Side note. So here's my money. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm still reading. Maggie, oh my god, you took an amazing concept and made it better. Vera Morris, I need that Talamasca version. Vat Marinacure, yeah. Louis going all hard. Thug now he looks even sexier. He does. And then even when he had the ball cap and went to New Orleans, because it's then the character looks, modern. Oh my god. And then when Lestat was using Siri, I'm like, Lestat, you've been in the past for so long. Oh my god. I love that he redirected that penthouse. Yeah. Oh, redecorated. Yeah. Sorry. The penthouse now bright and cheerful. And he got rid of that tree and got Paul's picture. Yeah. The tree's gone. It's like, bye, Arbonne. Take your effing tree with you. And the fact that Paul, oh my gosh, I was like, it's so emotional. The fact that he had, yeah, that portrait of Paul and the dress to Claudia, perfection. Maggie, this show is my favorite thing. So grateful for streaming like this, so I'm able to process. Yeah, the dress. Yeah, sorry, I was like a little bit behind because I think a couple of times I like um went back by 10 seconds or whatever. Oh my god, everyone, let me know what you think while I process. You know what's so wild is that I thought episode 7, which I've been bracing myself for 2 seasons to see since I read the book, I thought that was the part that was going to make me cry. No, it was like the whole scene between Louis and Lestat that got me. Like, just, I think it was like Louis having closure. I'm trying not to cry again because my eyes are like, yeah, the Paul picture, that Paul picture is everything to me. I, I love it. Yeah. I, I knew I'm gonna feel so empty after this season. And I'm so glad. I was so worried. I just didn't know. I didn't know what was gonna happen to Daniel. Like I thought he would be changed, but we don't see it happen, right? Um, and the fact that it was done out of spite. Ugh, so many feelings. My poor baby, my poor Francis. Well, now we know too much about him that he had big balls. Okay, good for you. I'm gonna miss Francis though. Yeah, the problem with Francis was he's always trying to compensate, right? That wasn't an olive tree meant to say Armand was Lair. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Pamela Boyle says Louis arrived in New Orleans and got his accent back. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was not expecting a comment. I mean, I didn't know when Akasha was going to come up, but I found that interesting. And that at that point in the past, right, between Louis and Armand, well, Louis that Louis doesn't know. And so what does that mean? Does that mean that after that he was told about Akasha? Maggie, I love that Lestat lives in a tiny rundown shack, eating rats, holding a wood plank piano, and also surrounding himself with an expensive speaker and iPad set up. But I bet it was a fledgling, right? It had to be, he probably like, that was his contribution to bringing Lestat um, to modern times, I think. Angel Sashi. Daniel is now so much more annoying as a vamp, but he seems to have taken it well. You know what? I'm so mad that I didn't say it because I always have so much to talk about. I'm kind of mad I didn't say it out loud because one of the theories I had that I didn't talk about was I was thinking since episode one last season, I mean, season one and season two were supposed to be one season, right? So I thought that because in episode one we start out with seeing Daniel Malloy on the television, that it would end that way. Like that's how, not that it would be the last shot, but that it would be there. And so the fact that they added that in, I was like, oh, I should have said something. But yeah, the fact that he's wearing glasses, I like that he became a vamp and that Armand made him out of spite. There's just so much more to discuss there. And I just wonder, yeah, I have so many questions. I love Daniel, even though he's a pain in the ass. I love him. Yeah, Daniel has little brother vibes. Louis and Santiago are all crazy. What was better, Louis meowing or Lestat Syrian? I don't know. Maybe he wasn't meowing. Oh, where am I at? Okay, question. Is it completely clear that Armand turned him? I took it, please let me know what you think. I took Angel Sachet, I took what happened as Armand turned him out of spite. I don't think he would have just killed him. I can't believe Armand didn't use his powers. Like when they fought? 10-10 trophy, did you mean like when they fought? I think because I feel like he could have fought them as far as like the argument at the end with in Dubai with their relationship. He could have, but what would it have led to? The whole point was that he just wanted Louis to himself, and it's not going to continue. I'm so glad that relationship ended. Thank goodness for Daniel being a pain in the ass. The last interview was with a vampire, truly. Yeah. Yeah, I think that as we've seen these past two seasons that like are clearly their relationship has been over for a long time. And this was basically like the last nail in the coffin. So maybe Armand felt defeated, like there's nothing else I could do, you know? I don't know. And also, um, Louis has been like drinking from Armand for so long, so he might just be just as strong as Armand in some respects, you know. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Vera Morris. Yeah, Armand is a gremlin, but I love the actor. I love the actor too. He's incredible. The way that he makes us, just every little look that the actor gives. Angel Sashi, that's what I got to. But then I started thinking they never explicitly said Armand did, and knowing these writers. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna watch it again tonight. I guess I thought he said something about like he changed me out of spite. That's what I thought Daniel said, but I could have heard him incorrectly. But man, Rashid is the slick one because he dropped that newspaper off, gave him the martini, and it was like, I'm out. I'm out. I am not. This is about going to be like a bomb exploding potentially, you know? It's wild. Maggie. Oh my God. I just thought about something. Okay, hold on. Oh my God. Actually, what I'm going to say doesn't make any sense, but I'm swirling, so just go with me. Okay, so I'm probably wrong. But in season one, which Daniel brings up, which everyone watching has been asking, is that there's that moment where Lestat talks to Louis before he kills it like the first person he's ever killed, right, as a vampire. And Louis, this whole time has said during the tale that like I can't, he can't telepathically connect to Lestat. You know, like Maker to fledgling, they can't connect. And I understand that's a discrepancy, and that was like the first season, and it's something that Daniel questions at the end. Why do you think that is? Do you think that that might not be true? Is that do you think that's part of the unreliable narrator that Armand has gotten in Louis' head and been like, oh yeah, vampire to fledgling, like I guess master of the fledgling can't connect, but really that was Armand messing with the narrative or with Louis so that he wouldn't contact Lestat. Does that make any sense? I'm probably all the way wrong. When I saw that last season, I didn't think it was an error on part of the show. I thought that was put there for a reason, and I just didn't know why. And so I'm still questioning it, and I want to know what you think. But I'm totally going to catch up on all these the chat. Debbie Mitchell. At least Daniel knows everything he won't be lost. Plus, Louis will help him. Yeah, and also Daniel was made, like at an older age, so I feel like he's been through so much, and that even though he was turned at most likely against his will and out of spite. I mean, or I could be wrong. Maybe Daniel just asked for it. I don't know. But that he's someone that would see it as a gift. Oh, this is gonna mess me up. Mark A. Houston. I bet not one vampire takes Louis open invitation. They just talk. He's crazy. Yeah, I bet they read that book and they know how crazy he is, and they're like, I love that. I love that he's just like, come at me, come at me. I'll be here. Oh my god. I think I'm still calming down. I'm still kind of annoyed. I'm like, I've been bracing myself for 2 seasons for what happens to Claudia, but instead it's the embrace and Louis saying thank you and being like, I didn't know it was a gift. That took me out. That whole, and then when Lestat, because they're far apart, and then when Louis moves closer to Lestat, that Sam Reed is an incredible actor because he could actually hear the actor, playing Lestat, and he kind of like catches his breath, like he's like, Louis is getting closer to me physically in distance, and how that's just like touching him emotionally. Oh my gosh. Pamela Boyley, sorry. You can't script a hurricane and then Lestat and Louis reunite during a hurricane. Oh my God. Mm. That's so poetic. And I'm going to go along those lines. When Louis mentions that they made Claudia and that he saved her from a fire only for her to be taken out by fire, that connection, like that poetic connection, that hurt. That also, it was just a lot. Okay, Fortuna. Maybe Armand thought you took my life, I'll take yours. That's very true. Yeah, that's a good one. Angel Sashi Rashid is a man after my own heart. Hell yeah, get that heck out. Yeah. That was like vampire 007 secret agent type moves. It was good. I'm hoping because that actor was incredible that he ends up in the Talamasca show. I need Rashid to, and I need Rashid in the yeah. Oh my god, we're thinking of the same. And the Tabasco show and DJ Sam too. Yeah, man. Debbie Mitchell, when Lestat told Armand, "I have the blood of Akasha," Armand goes that fire up. Yeah. He was like, "Ooh, I'm just kidding. Let me not go there." Oh man. And then also, mm, I do find it interesting that Lestat went back for like I don't know how to say it, like to ground himself where what was it? Did you say Marius? Where Marius made him? Um because that's where it all began for him. And then he's like he must be thinking like, what the heck am I doing? That was sad. He may have whispered. Angel Sashi, yes. Remember when we chatted, you brought that up. I was so happy when they brought it back. I was like, Gers mentioned that. What he said, yeah, yeah, yeah. I just assumed they corrected something that they wove into the narrative. Yeah. Fortuna. Plus, Armand never made anyone, and he's very powerful before. So Daniel went from frail as F to powerful. That's true. And I also question him making a medicine. I don't know. I have so many thoughts. You're all bringing up great points about like, yeah, Armand never made someone before. And I did think Armand was going to be the one to make Daniel, but I feel like there's going to be more to it than it just being out of spite. But that'll be a season 3 issue. Angel Sashi. I honestly think that it's just part of the lie and mind bending Armand did to Louis. I think so too. So when Louis originally told that to Daniel, I think I just thought it was true and didn't think twice about it. Yeah, I think so. Hi, Isaiah. Hi, I just want to say I loved both seasons so much with all my heart. Today's final episode was so good. So ready for season 3. The wait is going to be like devastating. Already, all actors were amazing in their roles. Some of the best acting. This season and last season were incredible. And I mean, I just felt like I loved season 1 so much. Don't get me wrong. I read the books. I love the books, but I feel like this show, I'm assuming they read all the chronicles and they just like elevated the material. There's definitely like some pothole type things that Anne Rice did that I feel like I guess I want to say they fixed. Oh my God. But I love this episode because we just had episode 7 that was devastating, episode 5 that was horrifying, and yet episode 8 felt satisfying. Like I like that Louis got closure. And I also want to, I'm going to ask all of you something and then I'll catch up on the chat. For you, after watching these first 2 seasons, why do you think Louis did this interview for a second time? I don't know. Because what bothers, I don't know, my emotions all are over the place. I guess it just bothered me that like Claudia doesn't really have a voice and her story could only be told through, yeah, through Louis. Um, and so now I think we've been wondering this whole time, why is this interview going on? And I think one of the reasons is, you know, in terms of relationship wise, yeah, like the relationship needed to end, right? And so I think like on some other level, not consciously, but that's what was going on. But also I think it's because Louis wants um I think Louis wants Claudia to be honored. Like after all this time, him and Lestat, they will never get over her death. And I think this book is a way to honor her, among the other reasons that this relationship is happening. Yeah, 10 the trophy, yeah. Episode 8 and 5 were my favorites. Yeah. I don't think I could ever say episode 7 was my favorite because it was just devastating. I was just felt distraught. Maggie. Oh, similarly, Louis is recounting the coffin scenes in season 2, episode 5. The scene shows Lestat telling Armand to tell Louis he loved him. Yet how could Louis know this? What perspective was that scene from? Great point. Because this is that is so great. Because I was also wondering when they did that, if before we saw this episode, was it because hold on, I'm going back to what you said because I lost the thread. I got excited. I thought when I saw that scene in episode 5, I thought it was, although this is big, like being told from memory. I thought that was like the show, kind of not breaking the fourth wall. That's the wrong thing, but for us to hear something that even Louis doesn't hear, I guess. But when you bring that up, that fits so well into that. Oh, Louis, be so glad you have Daniel, and because you see now, no, never mind. Let me take. My mind is everywhere. Mark A. Houston. Poor Claudia didn't come back to fucking kill him. That we don't know yet. That we don't know yet. Because maybe next season, I'm hypothesizing. What if there's like art? I'm going to go back and watch this episode, but you know how they're doing that little tour in New Orleans? What if on one of the tours they say something like, "Oh, there's like a ghost story. Like there's people have seen a girl like am I making any sense? I'm talking all over the place. But like maybe there'll be whatever, ghost stories or like uh of a girl haunting where they once lived, maybe, or Paris. I don't know which one. But I'd love I'd love if we find out like in an article that the Alaska has or something that Claudia's been haunting some people. Isaiah Handsome Boy Franklin. I haven't read any Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles book yet, but I do love watching her old interviews on YouTube talking about her life and career. We'll get to her books eventually. Yeah. This show, I haven't read the book in a long time. Actually, I read it like when I was like 13. I tried to read it a couple of years ago and it didn't gel well with me. Also, it's a different time period and, you know, I'm not gonna go there. But so some of it was a bit hard for me to read and like a little bit uncomfortable. Um, but at some point, I also do want to revisit it. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna be reading the Vampire Chronicles at some point this year. I'm gonna have to. I'm sorry, the Vampire Lestat. Angel Sashi. Okay, so does anyone feel like they did this final episode as if there wasn't a season 3 coming? Like if there was no season 3, this is a beautiful ending. Yeah, I think so. It it really was a beautiful ending and it was a great way to bookend the television series if they had to. I hope this show doesn't struggle because it's so good. It's so frustrating because I'm watching all these other creators on YouTube talk about how great this show is, and it's like and how this show is so good it's ruined watching other material because this is not it's not it's not they're not meeting um this high standard this show has left us with, and it's so frustrating to know that like um I don't know that not enough people are watching basically, but it's so good and I can't take it anymore. There's been so many shows that I've loved that have been canceled and I'm just exhausted. 10, the trophy. I'm wondering what surprise they had for Daniel when the interview was over. Oh, I don't know what you mean. I'm gonna have to go back. Oh shoot. I'm gonna be watching this again. Pamela Boyley. The second interview happened because Louis needed answers and he knew Armand would not answer questions, so he called on Daniel to do so. That's true. Well, Mary Morris. Never thought about the Claudia part, but yeah, this whole thing is messed up. Fortuna. Raglan said he's not the only one to interview Louis. I think Louis kept trying to remember, but no other journalist was as skillful as Daniel. He never wanted a book, hence burning Daniel's laptop. That's true. Which just shows that Louis still hasn't like completely been caught up with technology because it was all in the cloud, baby. Angel Sashi. As he did the second interview, I think that he was starting to have a bit of clarity, and maybe in the back of his mind knew that something. Ooh, hold on, I lost my place. That something was wrong, and he was no longer honoring. Yeah, Claudia. Oh, Claudia. Maggie, it's possible Claudia could have revenge ghosts do exist in the Anne Rice universe. Yeah, that's true. I'll be waiting for it. Angel Sashi. Okay, one of my gripes with this episode, lol, they should have had Claudia be the one Louis was talking to instead of the random guy he killed. Yeah, that's true. The only reason why I think they may have not is I think they potentially wanted to show like how off his rocker that Louis was at that point, that he was just going crazy and it didn't have to do with like um, you know, well, I don't know. I still like your idea better. That's true. Francis needs a prequel about his enormous balls. Oh, Mark. Yeah. And since we're gonna get the vampire, well, actually, no, maybe I'm wrong because Santiago hadn't turned for that long. But I kind of feel like we are at some point going to see the theater again because if they do the Vampire Lestat, we're still going to be stepping back in history at times. Maggie says yes. That Angel Sashi, I felt exactly the same. Like the show's ratings have been frustrating. I'm at least grateful the creatives would have given it such a beautiful ending if it had been canceled. Yeah. I mean, it was really beautiful. Poor Lestat. I can't believe I'm saying poor Lestat, by the way. 10, the trophy. Before Louis read the script, he stood up and told Daniel to meet them in another room. Oh, okay. And they had a surprise for him. I could have heard it wrong though. Ooh, do you think that they had planned to change him anyways? Oh my gosh. That's gonna they have surprise. Okay. They're probably gonna offer him the gift. All right, now you really have me thinking. I mean, I'd watch it. Yeah, me too. 10, the trophy. When Louis stood up before he read the script, he told him, yeah, I'm so now I'm like, You know, at least this episode isn't traumatic, so I'm gonna watch it a bunch of times. Ooh, oh my goodness. You'll have me excited to watch this again. Yeah, I have never read the books. Are the redhead twins in there? Twin. um, I don't understand that last part. Maggie, I love the idea of using Dream Claudia. Yeah, me too. I do wonder if it might have been too soon to see Claudia again, though. Give us a greater sense of her loss. That's true. Fortuna, I think they were going to kill him or turn him anyway due to the great laws. Ooh, that's a good guess. Awesome. Oh yeah, let me go back to what you're saying here. Oh, you know what? I don't know. All I know is I saw that the Mayfair Witches that first season was not good. It was it was just not good. And I did notice, but I watched the whole season because I kept thinking it would get better. And the Mayfair Witches came out right after the first season of Interview the Vampire, and that show was so good. And I know it's different creators, but I thought, oh my god, the first season was so good of Interview the Vampire. I thought, okay, I'm gonna like this show. And so I gave it more, I was like more forgiving. And every episode I kept waiting to be like engaged with material, and I was not. I've never read the books and I'm not really interested, but I thought I'll give the show a try because it's Anne Rice. Um, I read the not all of them, a good chunk of the Vampire Chronicles, and there's a couple of other books. Like she had some Mummy series or whatever I read. And anyways, there is that scene where Louis goes into a bar, not a bar, I'm sorry, in the hotel lobby. And I think that's the same hotel lobby that like some of the characters in the Mayfair Witches had stepped into. Um, but it's been a while, and I'm not going to go back and check that show. You know, Isaiah says, "I really hope this show series really picks up and doesn't get canceled. Hopefully, all the Vampire Chronicles books are going to be made season because this has been in the works for us for years to come." Yeah, because you know what? That's what's so great about that is that I don't know, something that I think is smart that EMC has done is that they would not when they put what is his name, Roland Jones on, he had to like have the framework for where he wants to go in its entirety. And I wish more like programming did that because then we end up like with shows like I don't know if I should say this, like Game of Thrones. I like Game of Thrones, but they just fumbled the ending, and I read the books for that. So so that was frustrating. Even though that was great television, I'll never complain about it. But then we have like, for instance, I know everyone loves Star Wars. I'm not huge on it, but and I so by the way, I can't speak to it too much, but like they have the originals, and then they have the other trilogy that came out, and that was like they had no like every single director had a different direction. I could just tell that they didn't know where were they going to go with this story in the first place. And it's like, why would you mess with people with a franchise that people are like so fanatical about? Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. But yeah, I hope they get to end this um interview with a vampire, like that they get to do the whole shebang the way they want. So I completely agree. Yeah, Raglan said all the previous interviews ended up dead or undead. Yeah. So that's what I'm wondering. Does that mean that Louis was making other vamps this whole time because no Armand wasn't gonna do it? Demi Mitchell, because he did tell Armand not to touch Daniel. So something is up with that change. Yeah. I'm just thinking about that. Unless when Louis was gone, Armand told Daniel, like, oh, actually, we were going to offer you the gift. And then he says, make it happen. I don't know. Maggie. The Lestat reunion really hit me. It hit me too. I was just like, and I don't get really emotional, but that one hit me. It was two parents coming together to mourn the death of their daughter. Yeah. So much so it's like they can't even really say her name, right? It's just too hard. Which is why I could see why Lestat would be in the dilapidated building, you know? It's just they're both they're both not doing well with her gone. And it's interesting that in the past when Louis seeks his revenge, that when he's telepathically talking to Santiago, that he calls Claudia his sister in that moment. I'm so mad at Armand. Armand is such a slime ball. Oh, are the redhead twins in the Mayfair Witches? I don't remember them being in the show or not yet. I'm gonna keep saying it, and I don't want to like be mean. I really did not like the adaptation. You know what I wanted? Um, some of what happened this season was taken from a book called Merrick, and I just want to see the character Merrick in the Mayfair Witches show. I would rather the character that's in Merrick be a main character, but I don't know anything about the Mayfair Witches, so it's like basically it's like I'm saying throw away the Mayfair Witches, which is just doesn't make any sense. So, Angel Sashi Lestat is still toxic. Yeah, he crossed the ocean, practiced a murder play, felt bad, and ended up saving Louis. Then let Louis go figure out the truth with Armand, my toxic perfect hair friend. Okay, this is the thing that I'm wondering because we don't know how they're going to handle it in the show, but I still feel like yes, Santiago and that coven reached out to Lestat, but just because they reached out to Lestat does not mean that he wanted him dead. Like I understand that he was there. I just think he kind of went along with it because maybe he thought like, oh no, I told them don't go over there. The European vamps are next level crazy, and they went anyways. So he's like, well, if anything happens to them, they're my fledglings, and I at least want to be with them, whether he dies or not. Because he also, during the performance, said, like, I'm the one that broke the second rule or whatever. And he says, well, if they're going to go out, I go out too. So I understand that he was saying things like, oh, it's time for them to hurt. I just really wonder if that's actually true because we're hearing from Louis' point of view and Armand's point of view is all the way wrong. So I wonder. I just have a feeling if they do season 3, um, I don't know if they're gonna revisit it. I don't know if they think that the audience will find it boring. I won't, but I just want to see the truth. Like, is what we're seeing really what's going on, or was he kind of going along with it just because he wanted to be near them? But I don't know. I'm all the way to Lulu right now after I saw um, Louis and Lestat hug each other, so who knows? Same, I watched Mayfair, but no. Yeah, it was not good. Yeah, they do. They were so I couldn't talk about same chemistry on Interview with the Vampire and then switching to the Mayfair, and there's like no chemistry between the characters. Yes, Vera, feel bad though. She got so much hate. Yeah. Maggie. Man, I love if this show got more popular. I want all the books adapted. Selfishly, I would worry if it went like Game of Thrones mainstream though. There's just such a lovely sense of unity right now. There is. Yeah. But, at this point, the more the merrier. Um, you know what I want that's selfish and never going to happen because I don't know how like book rights go. I love this adaptation so much. I would love if the series adaptation that we're seeing now was also re-adapted into a book. Because I like this version of Louis. I love his story more. I love his character more. Even though they made his character more culpable, yeah, for what happened with Claudia, I thought it was important because it has to make sense why Lestat is attracted to this person and that no matter what happens in their lives, they will always love each other. So we have to know why does Lestat love this person and also why does Louis love Lestat, right? There has to be something that they see in each other, and I just thought the adaptation did that so well. I forgot where I was going with this, but yeah. Vera, glad that it was mournful and not sexual between Louis and Lestat. Yeah, at the end, yeah, yeah, that's true. It would have been too soon, which is how I felt. Um, I look forward to the third season, but whenever they do get back together, I just don't want it to be right away. I, we've seen like 77 years, they said, of Louis jumping from one relationship to the next. And so I just want him to be like, just be independent for a bit, like figure yourself out. Fortuna, I wonder if Lestat lives in that hut because nothing feels like home without Louis, no matter how grand. So what's the point? Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was beautiful that he is there. And yeah, I think it might be both of them. It might be Louis and Claudia because Lestat says he can't let go of her, right? Like Louis can't. And so he's just like not in a good place, right? He's eating rats. And when do we ever see Lestat eat rats except for like survival and maybe just not doing well? Debbie Mitchell, when Lestat asked Louis about hurting himself, it was so emotional. Yes. Oh my God. And like how hard it was for him to ask. That actor is so good. Sam Reed is like both those actors together. They just they get me in an emotional state. Once again, episode 7, I was a shell of a human being when Claudia uh basically is murdered, right? But it's that scene of them together that made me cry. Oh, just so yeah. It's like you love someone so much and to have to confront them with them trying to end the mortality, it's just like, you know, it's so hard. The last time single and thriving Louis. Yeah, that's all I want. I'm like, please, Louis, find yourself. Yeah, I think so. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. I forgot who turned Merrick. I also, you know what? I'll say it. I didn't like what they did with her character, where her character ended up. That pissed me off. I don't know if it was like the other book. I was so upset. I think that character had a lot of potential, and they squandered it. Also, big. I never read The Maker Witches, but the first few episodes of the show did really grab me, and I love witchy content. Can anyone tell me if it's worth pushing through? Don't push through it. I'll tell you right now. Maggie, don't do it. There's gonna be season two. I'm not gonna like, I'm not invested in Maker Witches. But apparently there's gonna be season two. Apparently the ratings were better in the interview. I don't know how. I don't know if people just love those books so much. But I also heard, but again, I wouldn't know because I haven't read the books, was that first season did not follow along. Um, it didn't follow the books closely, and that may have been the issue. So I don't know. Hopefully, they heard how much people didn't like what was going on. But I'm also annoyed to hear that this is a while ago that show had more ratings than interview. I'm like, how? Yeah, 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 yeah. From now on, I'm calling them Francis. Okay. Santiago is dead to me. I'm calling him Francis. Yeah, there's not a lot to him. I personally like the character, but he's a very passive character, more passive than what you see in the television show. Um, and like for instance, when Claudia was made, that wasn't something that he wanted. He basically, and Claudia is a toddler in the books. He was just feeling down, drank from Claudia, and then ran away out of like he was like upset at himself for what he did. So when he runs away, it turns out Lestat was following him, grabbed the child, um, brought her home, and said like, "Hey, she's alive. Feel better. How about we just make us her our child?" So it was actually Lestat's doing. But there's a lot of that. There's a lot of things that Lestat does, and it's more about like maybe Louis feeling trapped but not knowing what to do. And yeah, Louis is just very passive. I didn't really mind it too much. I know a lot of people um, weren't big on him. But the other thing is, Interview the Vampire, which has been this past two seasons, is that it's one book, but and Anne Rice, don't get me wrong, she already had the idea for Interview the Vampire, but by the time she really started getting into writing it, her daughter had just passed away, and her daughter was also a toddler. And so in the character of Louis, she puts all her grief in that character. And that's also why Claudia is like a child vampire. It's really just a bit of a reflection of what was going on in her whole life. Um, and so when it comes to all the other books, we never get Louis' point of view again because Anne Rice was just like she couldn't even like touch that character because it was just like a representation of her grief. So because of that, what I like about the show is that they've enriched the character of Louis so much. He also was like an active participant instead of like the terrible decisions that him and Lestat make. And once again, they like make their dynamic make sense about why they were together in the first place and everything. Um, and this is a person that's like Louis is like a businessman. He has agency. And we see that throughout. That is kind of like his zone, right? This is being a businessman, an entrepreneur. He's a very ambitious person, and I like that about his character on the show. Um, So yeah, you might find him boring. I just, I mean, Jacob Anderson is doing all the things. He's incredible. Maggie, actually, yes, so true. The more, the merrier. It would be so amazing to meet people who've seen this show offline. Yeah. And just actually random. By the way, Louis mimicked Santiago. Oh yeah, he did. That was good. Oh my god, if that was Jacob's voice, he's even more amazing. But uh, just like Ben Daniels did when he was mimicking Louis. Yeah, they did an incredible job. I love that. That's something that we see. We did see like an iteration of that in the old 90s movie. But this again, I love the show. This is better. I love how they're grabbing things and like where they're placing them from the books. It's really cool. What do you think of the 94 movie with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise? I liked it, but that's because for so long, that's all I had as a fan was that. And so I still like it. It still has its own like place. It definitely tackled that same time period as a book. Um, there's a couple of things I didn't like, but like I'm not too nitpicky. Again, like for so long that's all I had, so I was like, I'll take it. One of the things is something that was important to me as a book reader is I know it doesn't take a lot of time in the books, but I thought it was really important to the core of Louis was his brother's death and his relationship with his family. And it's a movie. There's only so much time they could have. I would have still have liked if it was a brother, but they didn't do that. So that was like a small hope for me going into this adaptation. That was like the one thing that I thought, okay, maybe I'm asking too much. And the fact that they had Paul Louis' family in the show was just like, okay, we're good. Like you're never gonna hear a complaint about about this show from me because I thought that was so important to I think the core of Louis. Oh, and then also something that they don't really touch upon that I feel like is they did here as well is bringing up his religious upbringing and how much that meant to him. And in the movie, the 94 movie, we didn't really get that sense. It's like his wife and child died. There's not a lot of like religious, if I remember, like discussion. So like when Louis is saying like he is miserable being a vampire in the 94 movie and wondering about being damned, like he says that, but it's like, yeah, but where is it coming from? And so in the show, what we got that we didn't get in the movie is like we really get to see like how much his family and religion meant to him. And so, yeah, if you were like, if someone is a deeply religious person and then they get turned into this vicious monster, you might not deal with it well. And so that makes sense to me. I feel like the show is adding so many layers of rationale of why Louis didn't see it as a gift. Um, because how could someone, if you suddenly feel like, oh no, I was taught, you know, like in the show, like, okay, being with a man is a sin, like being a vampire, that's got to be a sin because you're killing people. So it's like I like that they tease that out, and it's something that the movie didn't. You know, it's only so much they could do. Maggie, I'm such a Lestat fan, but Louis definitely needs some time alone. Lestat needs to maybe needs to pick himself up a bit too. Yeah, and I like that we saw that he was in the tower where his maker made him or whatever. Because I think he knows he's like, I gotta think deep because what I've been doing has been all wrong in so many ways. Vera Morris says, Delaney, Sam, and Jacob stepped on our next season. Happy Pride. Yeah. Oh, and another thing is that all the things I forget to mention. When Anne Rice wrote this, she said in interviews and stuff that like every single character in her book, unless she types in there this character is straight, none of them are straight. They're all pansexual. Okay, that's how she addressed it because it would like come up, and she's like, they're all pansexual. So, so yeah. That's kind of like the lens you have to watch the show in, because that's really what she was doing. Angel Sachet, Louis said, "Come get me, bitches. I want all the smoke." He's like, "Come on, climb the tower. Let's see what happens." Vera, I think Jacob has chemistry with everyone. I'm convinced it's a gift. Yeah. Okay, let's think about this. What's his name? I'm going to tell you right now. It's going to bother me if I don't remember his name. Okay. What's the name? Oh, Jonathan Bailey. All right, I'm going to go off on a tangent. Okay, so Sam Reed, Jacob Anderson have chemistry for days. Like they could have chemistry with furniture, and I would believe it. But then you know who else does, which are they're totally not in the show. I'm just like thinking about them. Is what's the actor? Jonathan Bailey from Bridgerton. That guy looks like he'd fall in love with anyone. And then also Sterling K. Brown is another actor. Like all those actors, they could be dancing with a mop or like a spatula or like whatever, a brick, and I would believe their chemistry because all those actors just like exude whatever that is. Jacob's nostrils. That Uber driver made Louis' night. Angel Sashi. Aw, come on, let's push through and watch season 2. Yeah. I probably missed it. What Fielding was talking stuff in the show. Isaiah, I'm gonna read the first 3 books during the fall season. I know it's like 13 or 14 books in the Vampire Chronicles. Yeah. Oh my gosh, come back and let me know what you think. The one that was with Lestat, Vera, that fledgling. Angel Sachet, don't know who he is, but he got the Antoinette treatment. I need to talk to Louis. So get the heck out. Yeah. He just seems like he's using him. Antoinette, I still haven't credit here for Antoinette. Oh, I couldn't stand her. Antoinette needed to have some self respect. Isaiah, what? Oh, what do you think of Queen of the Dam movie 2002? I only watch it because of yeah, because of Aaliyah, right? As Akasha, love the soundtrack. The late 90s and early 2000s had the best movie soundtracks. I also like the soundtrack. I also, man, I still remember going to the theater because Aaliyah had just passed away, right? And the theater was packed with Aaliyah fans. I still that's like burned into my brain, and the movie was terrible. And so everyone was just there. I really think because of Aaliyah. And then when the movie was done, because it was so bad, it was so quiet. You could hear a pin drop. It was not good. Not good at all. But yeah, it's I don't know who they're gonna make Akasha. Yeah, but Aaliyah was so young. They ended Pride on a kick. Yeah, happy Pride. They happy. Yeah. You just watch it. Oh, just wanted to share. Don't know if you have ever seen that series Merlin, but I just finished a binge of it, and guess who popped up? Ben Daniels. He played Tristan and the duo of Tristan and Isolde. He was awesome. All right, I haven't seen it, but I'll check it out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, just Southern English. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta start. I gotta start ending because it's already past 8. Maggie, oh man, I have to head to work now, but this has been a blast. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for being here. I'm so glad that we're all having this end of season therapy session. I need it. That would be so cool. But do you think she'd do it? Oh, I love Zendaya as Akasha. Yeah, that's a good one. I just about to head out, guys. It's been awesome. Guernsey have a sub for life now. What do I do with my Sundays? I don't know. Thank you. I don't know what we're gonna do because this has been devastating. Um, anytime I ever watch this season again, I am skipping episode 7. I cannot do that to myself. That is like putting myself in the sun. It would not be good. But have a nice night. Reach for the stars with Zendaya. Yeah. Bye bye bye. Yeah, it is 8:07. So, before I just like leave, let me know if you have any other thoughts about this episode. Any last questions? Anything you want us to discuss before we say goodbye? I'm here for it. I will be for the rest of the week. I will be watching everyone else's reactions and analysis and everything. And sometime this week, I'll update my details section and I'll re-add. I know I kind of did earlier on this season. I'll add like a list of um, all the people I've been watching and enjoying their recaps and stuff. Especially Watch With Me LB. I love her. She's so great. Thank you, Isaiah. I appreciate you. Zendaya Zakasha. um, I am kind of stuck on Jodie Turner Smith. I am really like someone I didn't think about it. Someone else did and have been talking about it. But I would love if she was Akasha. But Zendaya is a good choice. They could just go so many different ways. Have a nice night, Debbie Mitchell. Thank you for chatting. I always love just like chatting with everyone. So I'm not alone after watching these incredibly emotional episodes. The show has gotten me feeling like a roller coaster. Yes, you should do a full season recap therapy session. Bye, guys. Yeah, I think I will, but it's gonna be some time because I gotta really like outline my thoughts. Love you. Bye. All right, everyone. I'll call it a night. Thank you for doing this with me. I love you all, and I'll see you in the chat. Bye, everyone.